When you think of a well, what comes to mind? Perhaps a quiet village scene with a stone structure, a wooden bucket dangling on a rope, and the glimmer of water far below. Or maybe a more modern image of a backyard water well, hidden beneath a green lawn. But have you ever paused to wonder why we actually call it a well? It seems like a simple word, but it carries centuries of history, culture, and meaning. Let's dive right into it, right here, on History of Simple Things. The word well is remarkably old. In Old English, it appeared as wella, meaning a spring or water source. This comes from the Proto-Germanic wello, a bubbling spring, and even further back to the Proto-Indo-European root well or welg, linked to boiling or flowing. From the start, well has been tied to moving, life-giving water, rising from the ground, vibrant and nourishing those who relied on it. What's fascinating is that the term wasn't always strictly applied to human-made structures. In early usage, a well could simply refer to any natural spring, a point where water rose to the surface. These springs were sacred, practical, and essential. In many ancient societies, springs were seen as divine gifts. Communities settled near them, and the word well came to signify life and sustenance. The shift from natural springs to constructed wells likely came with the needs of growing human settlements. As villages expanded and as agriculture required a steady water supply, people began digging into the earth to reach the underground aquifers that fed their springs. These wells, often lined with stone or brick, provided reliable water, yet the name endured, bridging the human-made and the natural. The well has long held symbolic meaning beyond its literal use. In literature and folklore, wells are mysterious and magical. Think wishing wells or fairy tales where they serve as portals. This symbolism echoes ancient reverence for springs. A well was more than a hole. It held depth, hidden treasure, and sometimes danger. Falling in was a real fear, but metaphorically it represented a journey into the unknown or hidden knowledge. Across cultures, wells have had social significance too. In many communities, the village well was a gathering place. People came not just to fetch water, but to exchange news, gossip, or advice. It was a hub of daily life, a small but essential piece of civic infrastructure. Even the idiom "as well" reflects the idea of completeness and health. Drawing from a well was more than hydration, it symbolized sustenance and wellness. The engineering of ancient wells is impressive. Civilizations like the Mesopotamians, Egyptians, and Indus Valley people built wells with pulley systems or clay and brick linings to prevent collapse. In China, wooden wells thousands of years old have been found, some still holding water. Digging a well required a blend of science, skill, and intuition, including knowledge of geology, water tables, and seasonal changes to ensure a reliable supply. The well also became a central metaphor in science and exploration. Think of Isaac Newton drawing knowledge from the well of observation, or poets invoking a well of emotion. The depth and hidden nature of wells naturally lent themselves to metaphors about hidden resources, both physical and intellectual. Calling something a well acknowledges not just its function, but its capacity to hold value, provide sustenance, and hide mysteries. Language, of course, evolves alongside technology. In English, well branched out into multiple meanings. There's the adverb well, meaning in a good or satisfactory way. There's well as a noun for a shaft of liquid or oil in modern industry. There's also to well up, describing something rising like tears. All these meanings share a theme of rising or emerging, turning the original well into a metaphor for abundance, emotion, and expression. It's also worth noting how well influence place names and culture. Towns with names like Wellington or Welford often indicate the historical presence of a well or spring nearby. In medieval England, controlling the village well could mean controlling the lifeblood of a community. Water disputes were common and wells were fortified to protect them. The word well was central to survival, property, and community life. Even today, wells remain vital, especially in rural areas where they are dug by hand or accessed with pumps and rigs. The word well endures not from fashion, but from its foundational role, connecting us to water, centuries of engineering, and cultural imagination. Despite this history, the word is elegantly simple, just 4 letters, easy to say and remember, carrying a legacy of life, creativity, and human ingenuity every time we use it. Next time you come across a well, whether in a village square, a backyard, or a storybook, take a moment to think about its history. It's more than just a source of water. It is a cultural symbol, an engineering achievement, and a social hub. Well is one of those ordinary words that carries extraordinary stories, connecting practical use with poetic meaning and reflecting our enduring quest for sustenance, depth, and understanding. And maybe, just maybe, when you hear someone toss a coin into a wishing well, you'll appreciate more than just the hope for luck. You'll recognize a word that has traveled through time, surviving invasions, migrations, and technological revolutions, yet still holding its original vital meaning. You'll see the link between language and life, a simple word and its deep history, a bucket and drawing from the earth, literally and metaphorically. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.